once. You'd have him twice. Cancel the dance or it'll happen thrice.
It looks like Harry Warden's back in town.
Hi, we're the Huge Movie Fanatics, continuing our Valentine theme, and he is going to be reviewing the, what was it, 1981?
Yeah, I think
81
close.
review of My Bloody Valentine, which I really want to see, but I have not seen. I've heard it's one of the better ones of the 80s non-Halloween, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street slasher flicks to come out in the 80s. And my boss has been really like riding me on to try and see this movie. He's like, "Oh, you gotta see My Bloody Valentine. It's just such a good movie. Oh God, you gotta see it." And if you know him, that was a really good impression of him. Anyway, you should take it away. Having actually seen the movie.
Yeah, gosh, what do you know? I have this person who's seen it review it. That's a new one. I saw this back in 1989 during my, that was a whole year of right when I was getting into all these horror movies. It wasn't even 10 years old when I saw My Bloody Valentine. And this is back in the day where on TV, we're not talking cable, we're talking just TV with commercials. They play every now and then, they play these weird like specials where it was, I don't know if it was a half hour, an hour, where they'd be like about, and looking back on it, I don't understand why they made them or who benefited from them, but they were almost like an hour show about horror movies. They talk about, so I saw all these clips from all these horror movies, like they play clips from Terror Train, Rosemary's Baby, My Bloody Valentine, and it's just like, who, what, and you looking back on it, it's like, who made this show and what's the point? It's just an hour-long show talking about horror movies with clips, brought to you by Alka-Seltzer or whatever, I don't know, but so this is, so that's my very first introduction to My Bloody Valentine, was they played on this show some clips from it, or a clip from, so I'm like, God, that looks hardcore, man. So I saw it in 1989, and I instantly fell in love with My Bloody Valentine. It's definitely one of those movies, and it's a shame because no one, before the remake, no one really even knew. You'd have to be like a genre fan to really even know about it. Everyone knows Jason, everyone knows Freddy, but no one knows Harry Warden.
Yeah, what a cool name too.
Wasn't that a great name? And that was so great, is like the killers, you gotta have a great name. That was a given. Michael Myers, something about it. Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger. And it's like, you say
Charles Lee Ray.
Charles Lee Ray. That was like, that was the late 80s, but all these great 80s names, and Harry Warden, it's like 2 syllables, bump, 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 like Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, and Charles Lee Ray. And it was just great. I remember trying to get a friend of mine into it at the time, and I'm like, "Oh, you want to watch this movie?" And I show him, like, he picks up the video because I still had it like rented from the video store. He's like, "My Bloody Valentine, oh boy," and I'm like, it sounds stupid. I don't think it does now, but I can understand how the title sounded stupid. And it's just like, oh man, you should have, what an idiot! It's so cool, and the whole idea of it, and it's actually talked about in the making of it, the whole idea of, in a lot of horror movie slashers, it was like maybe rich high school kids, or My Bloody Valentine was one of the first, and they talk about this in the making of, one of the first like blue collar slasher movies, where you totally respect these characters because they're all these guys, and it's much, wait till you see the original, because it's shown. It exists, well, it's completely lost. You don't get this feeling at all in the remake. You don't even know, no one even, I don't think anyone even works in the mine in the remake.
Yeah, they did.
They did?
I believe
Any of the
so.
characters? The one guy, the one kid owns it. Well, anyway, what I'm getting at is it's much better portrayed, the blue collar working aspect in the original, where all the characters you see in the very beginning, they're all working, and you see them in several scenes where they're working in the mine, and you respect these characters so much because you see, I mean, you generally don't see this much of a character at their job in a movie, and the only reason you see them at their job in My Bloody Valentine is because the job happens to be the location of where stuff has gone bad and will go bad again, and you got this was filmed in Canada. You got some great, well, the only one that's really known is Elf Humphreys. He was in First Blood. Sylvester Stallone broke his nose, I think, in that with his elbow in that scene, and I think he broke it for real. You can in that take, I think. He trips him. He's coming in he elbows.
Okay, I remember that guy. Yeah.
He's actually in X-Men 2 as someone's father, But anyway, Elf Humphreys is kind of a good guy. I mean, kind of a goofy guy. He played the Ned from Friday the 13th, the Joker in this movie. But you love all these people in it. What I love about early 80s slashing movies is now they get just a whole bunch of models and beautiful people who can't, most of the time can't act for shit. And back then, like Friday the 13th and Halloween, I mean, they just got like normal, average people, and these people are so likable. The cast in My Bloody Valentine are so likable, and you got this love triangle, which is very similar to the remake. But I mean, everything I think in the first one is completely better than the remake, which isn't hard. But it's just so cool, and you have this lore. The only thing that's a little bit of a disappointment about the movie is it's the only horror movie where, because Jason is part of Friday the 13th, Freddy is part of Nightmare on Elm Street, and Charles Lee Ray is part of Child's Play, and it's the only movie. It's very strange that the horror movie or one of the only, I can't speak because I haven't seen everyone, but where it's like the killer in it isn't even like Harry Warden. Harry Warden is what happened before the movie starts, and it's the story. And I don't want to ruin it for anyone who hasn't seen it, but if you've seen the remake, you know, But yeah, I love it, and the atmosphere, and first of all, the killer. What a great idea to have the miner outfit with the mask, and you have the breathing of and it's just like for me instantly when I saw it was like, oh, the mine. And if you look at the remake, like compared to the original, I mean the whole the thing that's so shitty about the remake is that they have this cool character in this cool location, which is the mine. They barely spend any time in the mine in the remake.
Yeah, no, they really did.
And when they do, I think it's because of how they edited it. It doesn't seem like they're very far into the fucking mine at all. I think it has to do with how they edited it, because right at the beginning they walk into the entrance and they do a dissolve, which makes it feel like they're 20 feet into the fucking mine, when I think they're supposed to be further. But in this movie, what I'm getting at is the use of the location, which is the mine. It's so great and so claustrophobic and dark, and you see several times how deep they go, and that adds to so much more claustrophobia, and just it adds to the whatever, the oh my gosh, if something happens, probably no one can find us kind of thing, and that aspect of the atmosphere of the mine. They completely, in the original, whatever you call it, take advantage of. Where in the remake, it's like, yep, mine, whatever. So I don't want to go over 15 minutes, but what do you know about the original? Nothing?
Is it really similar to the remake? I mean, like...
It's just so much better. I mean, it's
it's probably better.
It's
like the remake, from what I hear, was actually relatively close, just not quite good.
They changed things in the remake. I mean, everything's changed. You can tell it's a remake, but I mean, it's very different.
Yeah.
They take the same element. I mean,
I've seen the preview.
I mean, the remake is so different that it could be a sequel. The only thing they really take is that love triangle. Is really the only thing, and there's no scenes or anything that are similar. Like I say, if the love triangle thing wasn't there, it could be just be a sequel.
Okay.
So, I mean, yeah, I'll be very interested to see what you. Hopefully, maybe we should do a review of it once you see it.
Yeah, I do plan on seeing it. This is actually one of the ones I really do want to see. But I actually went to a store to buy it. It was literally in somebody else's hand, and
didn't you?
Yeah, I tried to ask them if I could have it.
Can I have that thing in your hand?
Yeah, they were like, no.
Thank you anyway.
Yeah, but so it's one of those ones that it's just a matter of time. I will find it, I will buy it, and I will watch it.
It should be said that they have since this is one of the only good things about remakes is that it puts more interest in the original. When the remake came out, they did do a reissue of the movie, which is both available on DVD or Blu-ray, where they actually put, and this was very exciting to me because they put back some deleted gore. There was a lot of gore that they made for this movie that because of they commented that some beetle just died or something, and like the MPAA just buckled down after the beetle got shot or whatever.
Yeah.
That had to do with all of a sudden MPAA buckling down on horror movies, which was too bad. Too bad that he got shot, because we might have been able to see more of the gore in My Bloody Valentine. But for the first, because I'd heard about it, and I see stills of some of this stuff, and I'm like, whoa! The movie, as originally issued, could have almost been a PG-13, And then finally, we get to see which unfortunately the footage is completely. It's not equal in visual quality. The visual quality completely goes kind of to crap when you see this new footage put in. But I'd rather have it go to crap and actually see what was there, because then you can be like, whoa, that's hardcore, man. Mm-hmm. So I don't know which version you had or he had in his hand, but you're going to want to probably get, if you can, which is actually distributed by Lionsgate, the newer version with that, because you can watch either or, the theatrical or the new one with the completely new footage. So, but either way is good. But what's funny, because after you see the version with the extended footage, you go back and look at the original, and you're like, God, they just like they just barely implied everything, and it's like completely lost. It's really can make a difference. Yeah. There's sequences where some guy gets shot in the head with a nail, and it's like once in the theatrical and like 3 times in the unrated and that kind of stuff. You see things happen, like this girl put on a shower, and it's just implied, like through the back of her head and throughout her mouth, and it's implied in the theatrical, and then you see it in the. So anyway, I want to go under 15 minutes, but highly recommended. What would I'm just gonna go 4. This is pure. Great example of early '80s slasher movie that happened. The holiday theme, which I like I say I love the holiday theme slasher movie. Perfect example. My Bloody Valentine, the original, very important. I'm saying the original is good. Check it out, and like I say, when you see it, we should definitely do a review of it. And it probably won't be Valentine's Day, but we'll do one for 4th of July or whenever you see it. So. If you're done,
I'm done.
If you're done listening, I'm done talking. Happy Valentine's Day, and do someone good.
Roses are red, violets are blue. One is dead, and so are you?